Civil Rights Act of 1964 by Dan Alex and Ritchie. So, the Civil Rights of 1964 was a significant event that was a new beginning for a new world to come, and a chance to move away from the racist and segregated way of life. Throughout this presentation, you will learn the before and after regarding when the act was passed, and some important leaders who passed the act, and a character named Doug who was an African American living during this time period. So, back in the day before the Civil Rights Act of 1964, life for colored people like Doug wasn't all rainbows and sunshine. There was a lot of segregation, and not only that, white people made fun of them and patronized them in so many ways. Jim Crow laws affected Doug in many ways. These laws said it was alright to have segregation, which made poor Doug's life difficult. These laws made people continue the ways of segregation. They followed a concept called Plessy versus Ferguson, which basically said that it was alright for black people to be separate, however they were still equal, which was pretty much racism in disguise. White citizens would harass and even assault blacks for being involved in protests, and groups like the KKK would take over, and segregation and racism would be at an all-time high. For Doug, this was a very dangerous time, and it would be a struggle to spread the belief that all men were equal. The fact that the government would condone the actions of the KKK made an even scarier time for Doug and his family.
Buses were put on fire and people were hosed down for protesting for equal rights, even though they were just exercising freedom of speech.
This went on for a while, but this all changed when President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which for Doug was a real life changer. This act stated that segregation is to be banned from parks, restaurants, schools, and nobody is to be denied service simply based off the color of their skin. For people like Doug, this meant no more overpacking their car, because they didn't know if they could get to a hotel and be serviced, so they had to be prepared, and if they had money of their own. No more black and white schools, and most importantly, more safety and security by laws that are enforced.
To this day, there have been many other acts that have been passed to farther keep segregation away and gravitate towards a more free country, like the act that came the year following the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which gave voting rights to black people and has been the same way since. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a major step towards a free country and equal rights for everyone, and should be remembered as a tremendous step towards that direction Doug would agree to.